Hey everybody, welcome to PDQ Live. Today we are talking Allowlisting, user logins to Connect.
So much stuff, actually.
We are talking conditional access in Intune.
Yes.
We have a couple new things in Connect to show.
We do. Kelly has to tell us some stuff to start.
Yeah, I think Kelly has like a laundry list of announcements.
He does.
Yeah.
Can we do it like a prescription commercial?
Well, what we can try, I wish. Let's call this the PDQ World Tour, okay? So we're going to start off in Redmond, Washington. We are going to be hanging out there. Andrew, and I'm just going to call him his posse because I won't go through all the names. He will be at the Tech Mentor Conference. That's the 11th through the 15th. HQ in Redmond, Washington. We'll be there. We've got tables set up. We'll be hosting a lunch and a 15-minute demo session, swag, raffle, all the fun stuff. Now, let's move on to webinars. We got a couple of them coming up next week. Life after Windows 10. Is there life after? Go toward the light. Okay, so this one is going to happen August 13th, 11 a.m. We're going to kind of get you geared up for dealing with life after Windows 10. We're going to show you how Smart Deploy can help you take care of that, and a chance to win one of 10 $50 Uber Eats gift cards. That is on the 13th. One more, Tuesday the 12th, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Ready, set, connect. What we're going to be doing is running you through the basic functionality and some really cool stuff in PDQ Connect, and we're doing it in under 20 minutes. Why? Because we're PDQ pretty damn quick. And I'm going to put the registration links in the YouTube chat momentarily. So there you go.
Wow.
Was anyone else just listening to Kelly's voice? Because I was.
I was.
First of all, I was like, which one am I doing? I don't know. But I was mostly just listening to Kelly. That's what I was doing.
And we're pasting links right now.
Okay, now what are we doing? First, there's a little mini profile release in Connect.
Little feature? Little new quality of life?
Yeah, little thing you can do. So my mouse is hiding back here by my coffee and my shake. Okay, inside of Connect, let's go there and then come down to settings. So you can go to this new little button now. You see, it says My Profile, and it takes you right to the portal. So if you do want to come down here and change anything in the portal, instead of navigating to pdqportal.com, or portal.pdq.com. I'm going to say it wrong for sure. You can just go right to it. And we, in fact, are going to talk about some of this stuff today. So it ties nicely in.
Nice.
Yeah. Next quick
That's
update.
A neat quality of life thing.
It is. I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Next thing, I'm going to close this. We actually already talked about this one time before, but the deployment page. Let's take a look at it. Look at this nice view.
So much
better, right?
Yes, so much better.
I like this one quite a bit because it could get a little busy before.
Yes.
Now you see how it groups it by the software. Yep. So if you
by the deployment, it was like this is the deployment, this is the overall status in one place. Yeah.
Yep. So you see Firefox, I have 11 devices.
Mm-hmm.
I can click on the ones that succeeded. Here's my status.
How do you have no failures?
Because I actually pay attention.
Oh, yeah. That's like the cleanest deployment page I've ever seen.
I'm insane, remember?
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So those are our two little updates in Connect.
Okay.
Next. What's next, Josh? I already forgot it. Allowlisting in Connect.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so I've been working on this all week. You ready?
Okay. So, premise for this, though, right?
Yeah, CM, it should be live. So maybe refresh the deployments page. It's supposed to be live.
I don't remember if it was to everybody or a sampling or a section. I don't remember.
Yeah.
We generally kind of roll stuff out in stages.
Okay. All right. So let me just say I've been working on this all week, this OIDC. And so I came downstairs to Josh yesterday and I was like, all right. So what I did is I asked ChatGPT, explain OIDC to me like I'm an idiot. I really did this. And it said, OIDC is just a way so that you, as the person providing the app, do not have to save the passwords.
from
credentials.
from an app publisher point of view,
Yes.
So from like a PDQ point of view, if we offer OIDC, we don't then have to take care of authentication or authorization. Like those two things get split.
Yes.
Right. Most of the time, people think about authentication and authorization at the same time. So in this paradigm, PDQ is responsible for authorization, but not authentication.
Yeah.
Do you have access to do the thing, not who you are, who you said you are?
Yeah.
Right. So we get this question fairly regularly.
Yep.
People will ask like, hey, I want to make sure that I can only log into Connect from a trusted network location. I want to make sure that I can only log into Connect if I'm challenged with MFA and on this device and this. Insert all of the reasons you want, right? That's all possible in most identity providers. But to do that, you have to leverage either OIDC or SAML. And there's a question in the chat, why OIDC instead of SAML? There's like that's like a very like technical deep dive. They both accomplish generally the same thing. They have pluses and minuses. I generally think that OIDC is easier to implement as a administrator than SAML is.
Okay.
I don't think we could have time to dive into like the very deep intricacies of both.
Yeah.
But generally OIDC is a lot easier to implement.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go over, we're going to put these documents in the description so you can follow along, but we're just going to go over how to do it using Entra first off. But first, should we go to the portal and actually just cover is in here. So the first article, OIDC settings in Entra.
Yes. So you got to go build this thing.
You do.
Right?
You do.
And there's a handful of steps.
Yes. We're not going to sugarcoat it. There are some things you got to do.
There's some things you got to do. You got to pay attention to what you're doing. There's GUIDs, there's secrets. And like everything Entra, the second you publish an article on where something is, it changes.
It does change. It does change.
So we do try and keep up with these, right? But with the new admin previews, with all the times that they're changing it, sometimes it takes us a little bit, but the information is accurate. Just generally where the exact place you're clicking might be slightly different.
Yes. Okay. So this is the article. And so we're going to start by making the enterprise application, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then actually, do we want to go to the portal and look at the types first, or we want to make the enterprise application?
Either way.
Okay.
Either way. Yeah.
So this is me. This is mine. So this is my tenant. So you see how these are all turned on? Microsoft just turned off because that right now is the way I authenticate to my tenant.
It's turned on. It's locked
on.
on.
Turn on. Sorry, locked on. Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for watching me. So now let's hop into Entra because we are going to create, the first step is we're going to create the enterprise application. So I'm just going to switch browsers because I have to go to my different tenant. Okay. I already made one.
You made an EA.
Yes.
Okay. So keep in mind, this is Entra specific. If you're using Google, if you're using Okta, if you're using JumpCloud, if you're using, I don't know, somebody else has an IDP that supports OIDC, they're probably going to call us a different thing.
Yes. Okay. So this is the one that we went through and already made. Okay.
Yep.
There's a few steps. Should we look at the one we already made or just jump in and make one?
Up to you.
Okay. This is everything already done. It has the users assigned, and then it has conditional access rules assigned to it. So we can go ahead and look through this one, whichever way you prefer.
There's two parts, right? Like first you set up the EA and the OIDC so you can apply conditional access policies.
Yes.
First, we got to go set up OIDC. So maybe let's walk through how you would do that.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do. Which one did I do? This one right here.
Okay.
This is the OIDC. Okay. Should we go back to the article? Because you kind of have to. That's the first thing. Make sure you have multiple windows on so you can flip back and forth because you are going to have to view what you're doing along the way.
Like generally, let's just talk through it at a high level.
Okay.
I don't know that everybody wants to watch. Just click through it.
That's probably not that exciting. Yeah. Good
generally, creating an enterprise application. We're giving it a name.
Yep.
And then we've got to go get a handful of things we're going to copy and paste.
Yes.
Between the portal and our identity provider.
Yeah, identity provider. Yeah, exactly.
Right. I'm going to steal this for a second.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. So we're going to bounce over here. Here's generally what you're going to need, right? You need a redirect URI, a login URI, discovery document, client ID, and client secret.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to tell you one thing though before we go, because this tripped me up, and it doesn't say this in the document. That client secret at the very bottom, it goes away just like this, and the document doesn't reference that. And Josh was like, "That's just self-explanatory." I was like, "Is it?" So let me just tell you, this one is complete.
Yep.
It grays it out.
Okay.
It blanks it out.
When you
just
paste
like this.
in the client secret, it just goes away.
It goes away.
It's saved, but it does go away.
Exactly.
Okay. So the redirect URI and login URI, those are things that the application is giving back to your identity provider, so that when you get that redirect, right, you say login with SAML and it sends you off to Entra, it knows where to go log in and where to send you back to when you either successfully authenticate or not, right? You got discovery document URIs and client IDs, client secrets. Those parts, right, are coming from your identity provider.
Yeah.
So you build the enterprise app, you go get all of the things that you need from either, you copy paste them both into each other, and then here's where everybody gets tripped up. Test, right? Because you came to me earlier this week and you said, "Hey, I think I'm going to lock myself out."
Oh, for sure. For sure I was going to lock myself out, so be careful.
Absolutely. Yes, you can get to a place where you lock yourself out. So one thing that we've seen occasionally is people will come in here, they'll set up OIDC, they won't test it, they'll turn off all of these other auth methods and then go to log in with OIDC and it break. And then you're stuck because you've turned off the authentication methods, except for OIDC, except for now your OIDC connection isn't working.
Yeah.
So now you're stuck. Like, what do? You end up emailing support, and then we're in a tough situation, right? Because you've emailed support and you're like, "Hey, I can't get into my account." Well, on a support side, now we have to look and be like, did you really? Are you who you say you are?
Yeah. So I want to tell you guys what I did because I was so afraid of incurring Josh's wrath. So can you go back to Connect? I actually went back to my tenant and I created a fake user in my PDQ Live tenant. Because I was like, TC nerd blah.
Yeah.
And at first I was a member, I'm like, well, that's not going to work because I will not be calling Josh and saying, I locked myself out because I was experimenting with this. So I made a pretend user just to be extra safe. So yeah, you just be careful when you're doing it. Yeah, and you're right, CM, always have an in-browser with when
incognito.
Yep,
just stay logged in on both, test, make sure that you can get in, make sure it's working before you turn off other auth methods. Because remember, those auth methods they're per user and also per tenant.
Yeah.
Right? So you can turn it off per tenant. So this is our first layer when people ask, how do I control who can log into Connect?
Yes.
From where? So you set up OIDC, test OIDC, and then we can move into, if you're an Entra shop, conditional access policies. And that's where we can get pretty fine-grained.
Yeah, the only other thing I did want to talk about just so quick, Josh, I'm sorry, I hate to keep going on this, is I can't drive over here. When you go to make the enterprise app, this tripped me up because I'm not Josh. When you make a new application, it gives you 3 options. This weirded me out. So you want to pick
the bottom one.
The bottom one. Okay.
Yep.
It wasn't clear in the document. It doesn't reference this. So just pick the bottom one. Name. You got to put a name. Pick the bottom one, type something, type whatever. Sorry, I just want to go over this because it wasn't super clear. Pick this one, and then it's going to go to some weird place. And you're going to go, what am I doing? Because I couldn't follow this because I'm not a robot. Just wait a second. I'm smiling because we had a little argument about this because we like to argue. And then you have to go back and find the one that you just made because it goes somewhere and you're like, okay, what am I doing from here?
Went to it.
Well, this one went right to it, but it didn't do this the other day. Then I had to go back to app registrations, then go find the one that you just made, view all applications in the directory, and then this is the nonsensical one I just made, and then you're going to continue on with the rest of the documentation.
Yes.
So this part was a little bit confusing for me. So if you get lost in that, just remember, third option, go find it, register, continue on with the documentation. Because he was making a lot of fun of me, but it wasn't super obvious to me. So
well, don't say third option because the option orders could change.
Okay. Anyway, okay, that's OIDC in a nutshell.
Okay.
Stop being such a robot.
So now you've got OID set up.
Yes.
Okay, so now you're logging in, and now the PDQ side is responsible for authorization, but not authentication.
Yeah.
So now we can validate things for people on the authentication side.
Right.
We can validate that there's MFA. We can validate they are who they say they are in any way that we want.
Yes. Well, and now, because now you're going to change. You're going to say only these users can use this application on the Entra side, right?
Yeah. There's like your first layer, right, on the enterprise app is generally like who are the allowed users in the tenant. And that's just like it functions just like a security group.
Yep.
Right. If you're not used to Entra, if you're used to Active Directory, it functions like a security group. Who can log in and do what?
Exactly.
Conditional access is now our next kind of finer grained comb to get in here and really define it. So you spent some time this week digging over like what's available, because there's a ton available in conditional access.
A ton available. And if you've never worked in 365, in Intune, in Entra, try not to get overwhelmed. And I want to kind of provide a little bit of context if we can before we begin. So Entra typically is going to be your identity provider, although there is a little bit of nuance. And then Intune, now you're going to get a little bit more into the device layer, although I did do a little bit of research, and I'm not even sure that Microsoft is clear on that, because you can make a conditional access policy in both places, and it can get a little confusing. So just...
It's a fuzzy line. Right.
It's
a fuzzy line to say Entra is users, Intune is devices.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, they don't fall
No.
in that way all the time. It can also get really confusing because you can do inverse logic.
You can.
All over the place. You can say grant access if it meets this criteria. And you can also say deny access if it meets this criteria.
Yeah.
And you can make policies conflict.
You can.
So you can get yourself into a mess. So you really want to think through the whole process and all of your other policies as you create stuff. They also have report only, which all of our policies are in right now.
Report
so
only
we'll show
is your
you
friend.
report only.
Yeah, report only is your friend.
Which, if you're coming from group policy land, doesn't exist.
Right.
Right. So that's a fun thing that you can see. Oh, I would have blocked. I would have allowed. I did allow. All of those things.
Okay, so let's hop into it now that we've confused everyone and made you super scared of it. Don't be afraid. Just know it can be a little confusing. So I'm going to hop over here. This is first conditional access. So just like in group policy, you're going to build onto it. You're going to scope things and layer things on top. Okay. So this one, I'm in Entra first. So this is named locations, country locations, and IP range locations. So we call this big brothering. So using IT to solve a people problem.
Yeah.
We're segueing a little bit here.
Yeah. A lot of this is like the first common request people get is I want to make sure that people are only logging in from location X.
Yes.
Here's a conditional access policy to do that.
Yes.
There's the built-in ones, right? There's the built-in country by IP and country by GPS.
Yes.
So that is a conditional access where you can click those. So let's show those ones first.
Okay.
And then we'll show the other type, which is a more custom, which is IP ranges.
Yeah.
Right. So think about this like we just talked about the different types of logic you can allow based off of, or you can deny based off of.
Yep.
So a country-based approach might be, I want to deny every country except for the ones I know people should be logging in from. And then the IP range, when we get to it, is the inverse.
Yep.
I want to only allow from this one.
Yep. So I'm going to just talk through this just really quick. This is the name, but these all tie into each other. So location type is a trusted yes, and this conditional access involves all of these together. So I'm going to click into this one just really quick and we can talk through it. So just like a group policy, it contains multiple things. So this is looking at this particular range.
Yeah.
And I marked this one as trusted, and this is the name of it, okay? So it looks confusing, but that's the gist of it.
Okay, that's a named location. That's part of it.
Location.
Yep.
And then if I click into the conditional access part, it contains those things together. I have it set to report only, so it's actually not taking any action currently.
Yep. So what is Brian's? Like, what is that policy doing?
Let's take a look. Let's drill in and see. And when you look at it, just remember the first time you looked at group policy, you were like, what is this thing doing? So don't be nervous when you first look at it. Let's just look into it. So first of all, the users, I can select the users and groups. So we're just going to look down.
Yep.
Ooh, this one is just looking right at Andrew because we're mad at Andrew for some reason.
Brian's conditional access is for Andrew.
That's right.
Tracking. All right.
And then if you look down at target resources, I didn't pick any on purpose though, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. And then this is a brand new network one. This is specific to certain network certain network resources that we're going to look at in just 1 second. Let's look at the condition. All trusted networking resources. Excuse me, sorry. This one's kind of hard as I look through it, but stay with me as we go, and it's going to open it up in a second. This one is going to block access, okay?
Yep.
I wish it was a little easier for me to work through this one, but it's not, so I'm sorry. You're just going to have to stay with me in a second. It gets easier as we look down it.
So this was the block.
This is the block
Yep.
one.
So this is the block. So this is
Andrew's
so you're taking an approach of blocking actions from happening versus blocking everything and allowing actions to happen if they meet criteria.
Exactly. But
you need to make, when you start to implement these, you need to make that decision. Are you blocking stuff or only allowing certain things?
Exactly. And you see, this is report only.
Yep.
So Andrew isn't actually, I'm not actually taking any action on Andrew at the moment. Let's do this though, because like I said, this one is kind of hard to walk through as we're doing it. It's easier if we do it as we go. So let's do countries. Okay. Because this one is really functionally very useful. So let's say we don't want people to go on to be on this country. Now there's two ways you can do it. You can say, I want to determine the location by IP address, IPv4, IPv6, or determined by the GPS coordinate. Now, the GPS coordinate actually uses Authenticator app to bring back the location. So it's actually better to do this way. It's more accurate.
Yes.
Go
yes,
ahead.
but.
Yes, but. Go ahead.
Yes, but. So the GPS coordinates can also do it from the device if the device is licensed in Intune appropriately and the device has the hardware capabilities to do so.
Okay.
So there is nothing within Intune that is going to prevent you from creating a policy that won't work because of either hardware limitation or won't work because of licensing. There's no warnings in here. So if you go and create this and like you're using Duo instead of Authenticator,
it will bypass it.
It's not going to be able to do that. So just keep that in mind. Like as you're building stuff, make sure that you're licensed to be able to use the features that are there.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to pick this one.
And locations enabled permitted. You haven't turned it off. Like remember last week how we were talking about removing like bloatware, adware, was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And turning that stuff off. So you turn off something like location services and then you set this policy, then your policy doesn't work.
Right.
So you can configure yourself into a corner.
Right. Know what you're turning on.
Yeah.
So we could do all of them. If we want to block everything, we could, but we don't want to do that. We just want to block, for some reason, we don't want them working in Albania.
Okay.
So we're just going to pick that one, right?
So the way that we do this at PDQ internally is we actually block all countries.
Okay. Let's block them.
And we allow, and then we just do like specific, we uncheck countries where people work from.
Gotcha.
Right. And then here's something to do like that obviously people travel. They want to get their email. They want to do their stuff. So we create another group in Entra that's called like traveling users. And then we say, oh, if you're a member of traveling users, you're excluded from this conditional access policy.
For this time period.
Using in Entra, there's another group. If you're in the groups, it's called like Privilege Access Manager, part of their PAM.
Yeah.
Where you can set it for a time period.
Yeah.
So it expires. They fall out of the group when they return from vacation.
Yeah.
And we don't have to remember how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can layer it. And then the other thing you can do that gets extra big brother is you can add an additional MFA on top of it and say you need to authenticate with biometrics or whatever you choose.
Yeah. So like, you may bypass this conditional access policy, but then if you're a member of the traveling users group, now your MFA requirements change.
Yeah.
And we challenge with not only just like MFA TOTP, but also TOTP with biometric.
Yeah.
Right? Like you got to use something else.
Yeah. No, I think we lost the entire chat now because we got so involved. Yeah. Okay, now stay with us. That's Entra. Okay, so we did a lot of stuff inside of Entra, and these were conditional access policies, right?
Yep.
And remember we talked about how you can do stuff in both areas. So now we're going to jump into Intune. You ready?
So now we're looking at device
registration.
Okay.
Come back, chat. Please come back. I know it's a huge rabbit hole and you can do a whole bunch and you can layer on top of it and there's a whole bunch of different ones, but just come back, please.
Yes.
Because I call this one teacher pets that can work at coffee shops, but there's a reason why we called it that. Please tell us you're awake. Really, come on, wake up, please. I promise.
So now from Intune,
yes,
we're like in Intune.
Yes,
conditional access.
Yes,
on devices.
On devices, right? So now you're going to say you can make it more. They're sleeping. I know it's really hard. It is hard to watch and hard to follow, but really very powerful. It is very powerful. But you can break a bunch of stuff, but you can also create a very powerful tool if you need to. Right?
Yes.
Very big brother, though.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
But powerful.
Go for it. Yeah. Let's see what we're going to do to the coffee shop.
Let's see what we're going to do in the coffee shop. Okay. So, we're going to walk through it. I'm scared that they're sleeping now. Intently listening. Okay. So first of all, do we love the names? Teacher's pet. These are people that we're not worried that they're doing something naughty. So this policy is actually pretty wide open. So the resources, letting them do whatever they want. You can include whatever users that you want to in this one. It's open to any network locations. And again, as we kind of touched on, you can set only specific IP ranges if you want. So in theory, and I'm just going to, instead of walking through this, I'm going to paint a picture for you. Say you have different, you have a WeWork location, you have a headquarters, and you only want to let your workers buy devices, right? Because we're in Intune now to work at these certain locations. So you're going to make those little IP locations and then assign the devices to those locations and say, no, you can only work here. Maybe you've had some workers who have proved they're not very reliable. And I know that's yucky to talk about, but this actually allows you to do that.
Yeah, you can only log in to the device to do your work from this location.
Yeah, that's what this does.
You can pin it. So this is another place that you have a lot of flexibility where you can pin it to individual network locations.
Yes.
Or you can pin it to all trusted. Like you can just say trusted network locations. So you might have like 10 or 12 locations built out that are defined trusted.
Yes.
And so you can work from any of those. Or you can also go to just this one. Maybe this worker only works in a Seattle office.
Yes.
It goes there.
Yes. But, and remember what we just said, you don't have to do it for all your users. Maybe not all your users have proven that they cannot be trusted. That's what's so powerful about this. That's why I called this one Teacher's Pet. They can work at coffee shops.
Yeah.
That's what's great.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it for everybody.
Yeah. And the chat's called that out. Like conditional access is wildly powerful.
Very powerful.
It is poorly documented and you're allowed to make conflicting policies. You can make policies on the Entra side. You can make policies on the Intune side. You can make them conflict. And it does come down, Marcel, just to documentation. Unfortunately, there's not even great documentation in here. Like if you notice, there's no like notes section on any of this.
There isn't.
So it comes down to at least what we do internally. I can say like we name things as granularly as we can. And then we also like make a page for each of these things. We have a Notion. It's basically the Entra like Bible. Where we try and document all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's really it. But I will tell you that there has been multiple times where we've been fighting conditional access and realized that we kind of shot ourselves in the foot.
For sure. And that's why when I was joking today saying I actually called Josh out of my office. I'm like, can you stay right here? I'm going to lock myself out. Like you got to be careful for absolutely certain that you can do stuff like that. There's no question, but it's incredibly powerful. And if you have administrators at your door saying, I need you to solve this problem for me, you can.
Yeah.
Just be careful. Right. Yep.
So, it's a fun rabbit hole. It's fun to go down, but generally that's answering the question, how do I keep someone from logging into Connect unless they meet this conditional access? That's your answer. Hopefully that's helpful.
Yes. And as far as the OIDC for Connect, follow the documentation. Definitely follow it. And on the conditional access part, we added at the very end of the documentation, just make sure you do the enterprise application correctly, because if you layer on the conditional access for the MFA, it will flag an error for you saying you can't add MFA. That tells you that you've done the enterprise app incorrectly. So go back, start over.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Well, thanks for joining us today, everybody. Hope you learned something. For PDQ, I'm Josh.
I'm Tara.
Thanks again for joining our webcast today. A couple favors we would like to ask. Could you like and subscribe, maybe? That would be really cool of you. Also, leave us your comments. We love those. Have yourselves a fantastic week, and we will see you back here next time.